Too far, too far. Alrighty.
So Jennifer, if you're good, I think we're good to let him in.
Where am I going to hear questions from? Just right here?
Yep, you'll see him right here, and then you'll get the questions from these speakers.
Okay.
Okay, we'll let him in now, so I would do a brief introduction, and then we'll take questions from the group, and then we should be done about 10, 15 minutes or so.
Okay. Let me turn my phone off to make sure. Okay. I'm good.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We're joined by Tigers pitcher Casey Mize. Jennifer's going to go through and give everybody recording permissions that needs it, so we'll wait a couple minutes for that. If you have a question for Casey, please put it in the chat, and we will get to those questions as they are received. Also, just make sure everybody's microphone is muted to avoid any background noise. So Jennifer, once we're good to go, just let me know and we'll get started.
Comments are pretty good, Case.
So I'm not reading the comments. She's going to ask the questions out loud, right?
You'll hear them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. People are already commenting on Facebook.
Oh, is that the chat right there that I can see?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all call on it.
Okay.
All right, I think we are ready to get started, and we will start. First question comes from Matt Shepard, Park Sports Detroit.
Hi, Casey. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. I know you've learned a lot from some of the vets in Lakeland, but I've noticed that you were jogging with Hector Santiago, you were running with Matthew Boyd as well. I mean, how conscious are you of that, and what more can you learn from them that you've learned since this summer camp has begun? Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very conscious of, what those guys can bring to the table. I know a lot about Matt Boyd. I didn't know a ton about Hector, so, we were throwing together. We were working out together, so I kind of picked his brain a little bit. Man, I didn't know he's had so much, time in the big leagues. And, man, I've just grown to respect experience. So that's just another guy that I have in my back pocket where I can go to and just, reflect upon and just ask him, questions. And because he's been there, done that, for a long time. So it's just really cool to be surrounded by these people, where I can go to and just, ask questions and get advice from, because obviously I haven't done it yet and they've been doing it for a really long time. So it's just really good to be surrounded by these people, constantly.
Thanks, Casey.
Thanks, Shep. Our next question comes from Nick Austin.
Casey, not one, to lack in the self-motivation department, but, being on that mound and throwing, and the more you get out on that field, does it just motivate you that much more to see the vision of what the future holds for you? Yeah,
no doubt. I mean, it's just something that, every time I toe the rubber, I want it to be up there. I just want that to be my reality. And so it's really good to get back out there and just feel that mound and, look at the stadium and, just realize that this is what I want on a, consistent basis. And I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen.
Thanks, Nick. Our next question comes from Chris McCoskey, Detroit News.
Hey, Casey, how you doing?
Hey, Chris. Good, thanks.
How did you feel about your session today? And where are you, how sharp do you feel like your pitches are right now? I know you threw some live BP before this, but how did it feel today?
Yeah, I felt good. I got on the mound in the bullpen, and, stuff was really good. I was really happy with that. Walked up to the dugout, took a little breather, kind of trying to, simulate what a game would feel like. And then I got out on the rubber. Threw 2 innings today. The first inning, man, I couldn't really find the strike zone. I was just all over the place. It's just a different field. Like I said, just trying to get my bearings, in the stadium. And just, I think I was rushing, and I was really just amped up and excited. So first inning wasn't my best. Towards the, second half of that first inning, I kind of zoned it in and was able to fill up the zone. But Then I went and sat down and watched Bo Burrows throw. Took a breather. He did a really good job. And then when I got out there, I was just much more comfortable. And I was really able to fill up the zone and throw some quality pitches. So I was really happy with that second inning. Just the first one, it kind of took me a couple minutes and a few pitches to really get zoned in. But overall, I'm happy with it. It's the first one. First real live BP out in that stadium. So there are a lot of different things being thrown at me, but man, I felt really good out there, and I'm really looking forward to another live BP and getting into some scrimmage games leading up to the season.
Absolutely. Just quickly, your impression of pitching at that spacious ballpark. Is that a feeling of comfort for a pitcher to look out and see how deep the dimensions are?
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, it's funny because I train in the off season and during quarantine with Brent Rucker, who's with the Twins, and we do a lot of Rapsodo technology stuff on the pitching side, but on the hitting side they do as well. And Brent hit a ball about 110 off the bat, and it went 415. And I told him that was one hop in center field in Comerica, and so I'm definitely happy about that. That balls like that aren't going to be leaving the yard, so it's definitely good to pitch in a place like Comerica, where the fences are a little bit further back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Our next question comes from Jason Beck from MLB.com.
Hey, Casey, good to see you again.
Hey, Jason, you as well.
So the outing today, I know we talk a lot about live batting practice at this point in the camp. Was that almost more like a simulated game for you?
Kinda. I mean, it's different because you can walk a player and then they're going to stay in the batter's box, or you can strike out a player and they're going to stay there. They're going to see 5 pitches. So it's different from like the 3-2 count or a 1-1 count or whatever, because the outcome doesn't always mean that batter's going to leave the batter's box. They might stay in there and see a couple more pitches, or they might get out of there before the at-bat ends. So that's a little different, but it's similar in ways too. I mean, they're taking live cuts off of you. They're seeing pitches, and so I would say there's similarities but differences as well.
And I was wondering if you'd had a chance to meet Spencer Torkelson yet and talk to him at all.
Yeah, I actually saw him in the hotel that we're staying at, as we were both getting on the elevator. So I talked to him for a bit there and just told him, congratulations. It's something to really be proud of. That it's going to change his life forever, and I'm super, happy, for him. And then ever since then, I've kind of just seen him in the clubhouse, just saying, hello, and just, how you doing, just, everything that we normally talk about as teammates. But I'm really happy to have him here, and, looking forward to getting to know him more.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Jason. Our next question comes from Cody Stavenhagen of The Athletic.
Hey, Casey, I was actually going to follow up on Spencer Torkelson. Is there, any other advice or anything he needs to know about how to handle a 1-1 pig?
Your question was kind of in and out, but I think I heard a little bit about it. I think it was about just, how to handle being the first overall pick. Man, I would just say, when it comes to an expectation standpoint, because the word expectation is going to be brought up a lot to him, and my advice would just be have internal expectation, and just do your best to fulfill that. Everybody externally is going to have different expectations of him. I'm going to have a different expectation of him than a fan or whoever. Like everybody's going to have different thoughts and different expectations of you, and you're not going to be able to make everybody happy. Somebody's going to be wrong. A lot of people are going to be wrong, and so why should you feel that burden? Obviously you want to exceed the good expectations, but man, like just set goals, internal goals, short term, long term. Try to achieve those, and if you do that, I think you're going to make a lot of people happy. You're going to make yourself happy, which is most important, and you're going to help your team win a lot of games along the way.
For sure, that's good stuff. I was also going to ask, what's it like living in a hotel right now, and what have you, found ways to pass the time outside of baseball?
Yeah, it's pretty monotonous. There's not really much to do. My wife loves to cook, and so obviously we're not able to cook in the hotel, so I'm missing some home cooking, but luckily, we're getting out of the hotel soon. We signed a lease at a place yesterday, actually, so we'll be moving into the condo pretty soon, and I know she's excited to get back into the kitchen, and I'm excited to eat some home cooking. So it's been fine though. I'm kind of ready to get out of there.
For sure. All right, thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Our next question comes from Audrey Dahlgren.
Hi, Casey. Thank you. I kind of wanted to piggyback off of the setting goals that you were mentioning a little bit of Torkelson, but for yourself in terms of now that it's for the season, if you guys have, if you're in, what are your expectations for yourself and have it changed at all since the first spring training started, or how are you approaching that?
Yeah, I mean, expectations, I really try not to set, super long-term expectations. I'm more of a day-to-day, week-to-week kind of guy when it comes to goals. I mean, long-term is, I want to be a big leaguer and, stay in the big leagues and have a really long career. And that's really about as far as it goes for me, with the addition of, winning as many championships as possible. Short-term, for me, it's more go get this workout in today, get your conditioning in, go throw this bullpen, execute well, mentally prepare for this, physically prepare for this, and check boxes every day. Those are my expectations and my goals that I set for myself. I just kind of lay out what I want to do this week to prepare for a start, and I go execute those. And that's really about as far as my goals go in the short term. And I feel that, if I accomplish those and check those boxes, then I'm going to set myself up really well to, for success when it comes game day and, for months and weeks at a time, which hopefully will lead to playing in the big leagues and the same success there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Mickey York, Fox Sports Detroit.
Hey, Casey. Obviously, this isn't the baseball season. It goes without saying that anybody envisioned. How do you feel that it has impacted your growth, either positively or perhaps negatively?
You can look at it two ways. Obviously, I would like to get more innings than what's going to be available for this season. But, I heard Matt Boyd do an interview, and he talked about, we don't really get the opportunity after spring training to really go work on stuff because we just get thrown into a season. And so it's kind of been a unique opportunity where, we were at spring training, competing and preparing for the season, but now everything gets shut down and we go back to our hometowns and try to prepare for, we don't know what's to come at the time. So it's cool because we really got to work on the things that we didn't like in spring training, the things that we did really well in spring training, and kind of hone in on those skills. And so I think, that was one of my goals. Like I said, I try to set short-term goals, and I tried to, make the curveball better and, make the fastball command better. Just things that I didn't like in spring training, and I tried to, really attack that during the quarantine. And so I think I did a pretty good job of that. We'll see how that plays out, during this spring training and during the season. But I think the biggest things negatively, there's going to be an innings loss, not for myself, just for, everybody. But positively, like, we got a really unique opportunity to go get better.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mickey. Our next question comes from Anthony Fennick of the Detroit Free Press.
Casey, how you doing? Thanks for doing this. My first question would be, and you might have answered this, I apologize, but today it seemed like you got Haas and Bonifacio, I believe, breaking their bats. What pitch was was that your cutter?
On Bonifacio, it was the breaking ball. That's something that I really tried to hone in on and make better this quarantine. And I've been pretty pleased with it so far. I've been getting really good feedback from catchers and pitching coaches as well. And so that was, I think, a 2-2 breaking ball to Bonifacio. He actually got a hit on it. It was a broken bat single. And then on Haas, it was a two-seamer inside that got in on his hands and kind of, broke his bat there, which probably would have been a ground out.
And if you haven't already, in terms of Matt Boyd, I saw you guys run it a couple days ago, and it seems like you just started talking about him here. How influential has he been on you in just a short period of time, and what do you enjoy most about talking with him?
Yeah, Matt's super intelligent. He's a great guy and is always willing to answer questions and provide value. And so I respect that a ton, especially from such a talented guy. He's been a huge value, not only to myself, but other young guys who are in my situation that are trying to learn and trying to be where Matt is. So he's been great, man. It's cool to bounce routines and ideas off of one another, how he's holding a pitch or what he's thinking about when he's on the mound. So there's a lot of different scenarios and different things that I can learn from him and kind of I wouldn't say mirror things off of, because I have a lot of things that I like to do on a personal level from a routine standpoint and from a mental standpoint and things like that. but it's always good to just learn what other people are doing who have different philosophies, and just see where you can apply that, if you can apply some of that stuff to what you do. And so I'm just really interested in what everybody does, and that includes Matt Boyd. And I know he's got a really good routine and really unique set of ideas, and so he's really cool to learn from.
And I guess lastly for me, you talked about how unique this time was in terms of developing and how there might be a lack of innings. Could you foresee a scenario, I guess, like how big could your advancement be if you don't have, I guess, competitive innings? And I know you guys are all chomping at the bit to get somebody in the box against you, but do you still think that's possible to take a step without having that kind of action?
It'd be really tough. Honestly, I think there's going to be a ton of value in facing hitters and trying to be as competitive as possible this season. I think we can get better if that's not a possibility. It's going to be a little tougher in all honesty. But in a perfect scenario, obviously, I would love to go compete against big league hitters and try to get as much experience as I can this season, to prepare to make a run in 2021. But either way, I'm going to do whatever I can to get better this season. If that's not at the big league level, if that's on the taxi squad, if that's back home, wherever that may be, I'm going to do whatever I can to get better. But it would be a little bit more difficult without seeing competitive at bats.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony. Time for one or two more questions. We'll next go to Matt Shepard at Fox Sports Detroit.
Casey, just a follow-up to that, we know that you're learning a lot from Boyd and Santiago, which you mentioned, but is anybody asking you for some advice? I mean, besides some of the younger guys, are any older guys asking some things that have made you successful so far, and what do you tell them?
So it's kind of different. Like right now, I haven't really been around a ton of guys because we're all staggered throughout the day. But in spring training, I feel like I kind of added some value to some people. Just like I said, I respect the humility from all these guys who have big league experience but are still willing to learn. Because I feel the same way. I feel like no matter how good you are, what experience you have, anything like that, you should always continue to want to learn. And so, I really try to do that, but I've also seen that in my teammates as well. And so I really respect them for that, because it would be really easy for them to not come to me and ask me about something, but they have, and they've just been seeking out information, which, like I said, every player should want to do that. And so I respect those guys for doing that, and hopefully they continue to do that in the future.
Thanks, Shep. It looks like the last question we have for Casey. Casey, thanks for your time today. We'll be joined by Spencer Torkelson in just a moment. So we'll keep everybody in the room, and then we'll have Spencer available in just a second. All right, you're good, Casey.
All good?
Thank you, Casey.
All right, thanks, guys.
Nice job. Should I stop the video or not? Leave the video. Okay.
Great. I'm ready.
Please put a notification in the chat, and we'll get to those as they are received. And looks like we're ready to go. Our first question comes from Mike Lissette.
Two-part question here, if you don't mind. First off, what was the reception you got today in the clubhouse? A lot of new faces. You're the rookie, but what was the reception like for you?
Everyone's great. Everyone is happy to have me here, and all the new guys, or me and Dylan are the new guys. But yeah, everyone's been nothing but amazing and welcoming, and they all have advice to give, and I'm taking it all in.
And the second part is, obviously you come off a big weekend, impressing a lot of people with batting practice. More hype for you. How do you deal with that hype? How do you not let it consume you, both, whether the good side of it or the bad side? How do you stay proud of it?
I don't worry about it too much. At the end of the day, it's playing baseball, and it's what I've been doing for my whole life, and that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Is just see ball, hit ball, and let people say whatever.
Thanks, Mike. Our next question comes from Chris McCoskey of the Detroit News.
Hey, Spencer.
How's it going?
Good, man. I was interested in, obviously it didn't affect you very much, but when you first walked out there and saw the dimensions at Comerica, knowing your strengths as a hitter, I mean, what was your first reaction when you saw that?
I didn't have an initial reaction to seeing 420 feet to dead center. I knew about that already, and it didn't really faze me because, it's about hitting, and hitting comes first, and then the home runs will come. So you're not shooting for a 25-foot home run. You're shooting to make good, solid contact with a good swing, and that 420 will come easier than it sounds.
And then just being around guys like Miguel Cabrera, you're not that removed from, being kind of a fan yourself and going to games and dreaming. When you get around like Miguel Cabrera, I think Matthew White told the story of how he was telling you got to get over in his clubhouse quick as you can. But what is that? How do you deal with that? How do you react to that?
Oh, no doubt. It's nothing but awesome. Miggy's the man. I met him once, and he's been so nice. And for a Hall of Famer to say that, it's special, and it's something that I'll never forget. Second day in the organization, Miggy's saying that. It's really cool to have guys like that backing me up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Our next question comes from Nick Austin.
Spencer, obviously small sample size so far, but from what you know of this organization, the players and the people you've been around, what do you think, what about your game, your personality, makes you such a good, or this organization a good fit for you?
Everyone's awesome, from coaches to players to staff. Like, everyone's been unbelievable, and they're all great people, and it's a great time to be a Tiger. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I truly believe it because I've been here for 3 days, and I feel really close with some of the guys already, and they're going to be my teammates for a couple of years. So there's only one thing on our mind, and it's to win and get better. So the first couple of days here have been awesome, and I think it's the best fit for me ever.
Thanks, Nick. Our next question comes from Anthony Finnick of the Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, Spencer, I know for, the past year or so you've had a spotlight on you, so, there's always been scouts, people watching, blah, 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 but how would you describe the difference in excitement level, emotions, perhaps adrenaline when you're taking batting practice there at Comerica Park, in front of, the front office and coaches and even your, future teammates?
There's not much pressure involved. It was just such a cool moment in my life to be able to hit batting practice on a big league field. It's every kid's dream to do that, and for myself to be able to do that every day, it's right now it's incredible, and it's very special. So there's no pressure that comes with that in front of whoever is watching. It's still baseball, and it's an opportunity more than anything.
And I guess just how, from a hitting perspective, you haven't hit or faced really live pitching in quite some time. How excited are you to really step in against a pitcher and kind of take some swings at some point here?
I can't wait. It's baseball. I get to play the greatest game ever created for a living, and I look forward to facing the first live arm in a couple months. It might not turn out in my favor because I haven't seen it in a couple months, but it won't take long to get back on track.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Our next question comes from Cody Stavenhagen of The Athletic.
Hey, Spencer, good to see you. I guess, what was the trip up to Detroit like? Like, just how did you get here, and kind of what was going on in your head as you're thinking, you're heading to a big league park and kind of this whole new life?
It was a little crazy. I flew to Seattle for a connecting flight, Seattle to Detroit, early Monday, and there's a lot of things going through my head. from, what do I say, like how do I interact with some people and what do I do. But I got great advice from coaches and from everyone saying, just be yourself, you're there for a reason, so just act like it, and that's kind of what I've been doing, and it's working out.
Casey Mize said he bumped into you at the hotel, the last 1-1 pick in this organization. What was that interaction like? What do you know about him so far?
It was short. We touched elbows, but yeah, Casey's a great dude. Everyone I know in the organization, and just from meeting him a couple times, he's a great guy. And he's a great pitcher too. So I look forward to hanging out with him some more.
Sure. Are you bored in the hotel yet after workouts?
No, honestly, I'm not. I got my PlayStation 4 with me. It's keeping me company.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Spencer.
Thanks, Cody. Our next question comes from Mickey York, Fox Sports Detroit.
Hey, Spencer, Gardy shared a little bit of a conversation said he had with you the other day just about kind of taking it all in and not having to do a little bit of everything every day. What was that conversation like for you? Did you feel like you needed that? And what's your biggest takeaway from those words?
Yeah, I think everyone needs that conversation with the head coach of the organization, really. But yeah, that was helpful, and to hear it out of his mouth. Hear him say it was nice, and yeah, I definitely took it all in, and I'm starting to play like that now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mickey. Our next question comes from Jason Beck from MLB.com.
Hey, Spencer, thanks for doing this.
No problem.
How much of a whirlwind has this last week been for you between flying here, getting the contract done, taking the physical, getting the tests, and then coming out here, taking batting practice, and then going to work? Have you had a chance to catch your breath yet?
Yeah, pretty wild week, but yeah, I have. I got a lot of downtime in the hotel room, doing some push-ups and some PS4, whatever. So I do have time to, take a step back and realize what's going on. But yeah, it was been one of the best weeks ever. The draft happened, and that was probably the best day of my life, and then to finish the contract and then come out here and play baseball, it's a close second for sure.
And I was wondering, you took obviously ground balls at third base during your collegiate career. How much work has there been done so far in terms of transitioning over? Do you have to change your mindset to think as a third baseman now? And are you working with Alan Trammell, Ramon Santiago, or a group of guys on there?
Yeah, we're moving slowly right now. They're getting to know me. I'm getting to know them. I'm just getting my reps in at third base. There's not a lot of coaching because they're kind of dissecting me right now, figuring out what to work on. But I'm sure they're gonna come at me with some stuff here in the next couple of days. But yeah, Trammell and Santiago have been awesome.
And lastly, I know Boyd told us that he said it took some humility for an Oregon State guy to talk to you. But I also know you were in the same batting practice group the other day with a University of Arizona guy, Brandon Dixon. How much Pac-12 grief are you getting from conference rivals?
Oh no, we're all teammates now. So Boyd actually told me he shouldn't be nice to me, but he's going to be for now, which is cool. I need him in my corner.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. Our next question comes from Anthony Finnick of the Detroit Free Press.
A natural follow-up question to what you said to Cody is what video games do you play?
I'm a big Call of Duty guy. That's pretty much it.
That's all I had. Thank you, man.
Alrighty.
Our next question comes from Matt Shepard of Fox Sports Detroit.
Hey, Spencer, this may not be easy to answer, but how do you know you belong? I mean, what is it when you have a feel out there, when you're hitting, when you're fielding? When do you get that sense you belong, or maybe you already have it, and what leads you to believe that? Thanks.
Well, all these people are telling me I belong, so enough of that. A lot of the people tell me I belong here. It kind of convinces your brain that you do. But I'm comfortable here, and the guys are awesome. No one's said I suck yet, so I think I belong.
Thanks, Shep. Our next question comes from Chris McCoskey of the Detroit News.
Hey Spencer, this is a little out of the box, but I always wonder about college guys. You have all the success with the aluminum bat, whatever the compounds, whatever. How long ago did you start looking at wood bats? And I know you've been in wood bat leagues and stuff, but how long has it taken you to kind of make that adjustment and find the right feel of a wood bat and get your right dimensions? Was that a process for you?
Yeah, I guess you could say it's been a process, ever since I was maybe 16 at the area code games, kind of first time using the wood bat there. But no, it's not a huge transition for me. I played in the Cape and with Team USA, and we all use wood bats there, and I was comfortable using them. It doesn't really change my approach at all. I'm comfortable with a couple models that there's plenty of in the wood bat, so yeah, it's not too difficult for me.
Okay, I wondered if you had to keep experimenting and keep trying to, but you locked into a model or two, and you're good with that now.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I know that's a weird question, but.
Oh, no worries.
Thanks, Chris. We have time for a couple more questions. We'll next go to Jason Beck from MLB.com.
Yeah, Spencer, I want to follow up on Trammell. He went to your games to check you out. He's working with you now. He's a Hall of Famer. What's the feeling like when you have somebody of that stature watching you and working with you, a guy who's one of the greatest shortstops of his generation and probably some others too?
Yeah, well, first thing is I'm gonna listen because he obviously isn't wrong many times. So yeah, I'm taking all the information in, and I'm gonna do what they tell me because whatever he did obviously worked. So whatever he says goes.
Did you know much about him before all this, or did you have to ask your parents or some of your coaches at Arizona State?
My dad knew about him, and that was really cool, because he's like, who you're talking to, right? I'm like, yeah, I follow baseball and all, but I don't know the name. And he's like, he's a Hall of Fame shortstop, and so yeah, that kind of, I guess it was good that I didn't know that before I started talking to him, because I would have gotten a little intimidated.
Very cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Jason. And we'll take one more question. It's from Anthony Fennick with Detroit Free Press.
Real quickly, on Comerica Park, Spencer, what had you heard about, I guess, the park, or been told about it going into it? Because it has a reputation of being a pretty big park with big fences. Had you heard any of that, and what had you heard in that regard?
It is a bigger park. I wouldn't say it's super intimidating, because I played at Phoenix Municipal Stadium my freshman year, pretty similar dimensions, and that wasn't an issue. So jumping into this ballpark, it's not bad at all. It's a beautiful ballpark. I know the fans are diehard. It's an amazing place to be. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony, and thanks to everybody for joining us. Spencer, thank you for your time, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks, Spencer.
No problem.
There you go.
Cool.
Thanks, Spencer.
Great job, Spencer. That was great.
Sweet.